You will meet people in your life who simply don't respect you. Maybe they dismiss you, talk over you, belittle your ideas, or treat you as if your presence doesn't matter. Here's the truth: respect is not given freely. It's earned, and sometimes it's demanded. So how do you handle people who don't respect you? Here are 5 ways that will change the game. Don't tolerate disrespect. The moment you let disrespect slide, you're teaching people how to treat you. Silence is approval. If someone mocks you, interrupts you, or crosses a line, call it out immediately, not with anger, but with calm authority. A simple, "Don't speak to me that way," or "I'm not okay with that," sets the boundary. Respect begins with what you allow. Control your emotions. When people disrespect you, their goal may be to provoke. If you explode, they win. If you get defensive, they control you. But when you stay calm, collected, and unshaken, you send a powerful message. You don't get to decide my worth. Strength is quiet. Emotional discipline is your greatest weapon. Reduce their access. Not everyone deserves a front row seat in your life. If someone consistently disrespects you, limit their access. That means less time, less energy, and fewer chances to affect you. Distance is not weakness, it's wisdom. Protect your mental space, because people who don't respect you should never have power over you. Lead with self-respect. People mirror how you treat yourself. If you carry yourself with dignity, speak with confidence, and walk with purpose, you show others the standard. Respect yourself first, and many will rise to meet it. But if they don't, then you already know they don't belong in your circle. Walk away without fear. Sometimes the most powerful move is no fight at all. It's walking away. Not every battle deserves your energy. Some people thrive on chaos, and the best answer to disrespect is your absence. When you leave with your head held high, you prove something important. You never needed their respect to begin with. Closing respect is not about forcing others to value you. It's about valuing yourself so much that you refuse to shrink, settle, or accept less than you deserve. Remember, how people treat you is their character. How you respond is yours. So don't chase respect. Command it. And if it's not given, move forward knowing you're already enough. When someone disrespects you, the very first thing you must understand is that you are teaching them how to treat you. Every time you let a disrespectful comment pass without saying something, every time you allow someone to dismiss your presence, every time you excuse their behavior, you are silently sending a signal that this kind of behavior is acceptable. People test boundaries all the time. Some do it intentionally to see how much control they can have over you. Others do it unconsciously, simply because they have gotten used to crossing lines with no pushback. But whether it is intentional or not, the result is the same. When you allow disrespect, it grows, it spreads, and it becomes the standard in that relationship. The truth is, you cannot control how people behave, but you can absolutely control what you tolerate. And if you tolerate disrespect once, you're setting the tone for every interaction that comes after it. Think about the small ways people cross lines every day. A co-worker interrupts you in a meeting. A friend makes a joke at your expense. A family member dismisses your feelings when you're trying to express them. On the surface, these moments might not feel like a big deal, so you let it go. But here is what really happens: that one moment tells the other person that your boundaries are flexible, that your voice doesn't matter as much, that they can get away with disregarding you. What starts as a joke or a single interruption builds into a pattern where you are no longer seen, no longer heard, and no longer respected. It doesn't happen all at once. It happens in the quiet spaces where you choose silence over speaking up. Setting boundaries is not about being aggressive or confrontational. It is about being clear, consistent, and calm in showing people where the line is. It is about communicating without hesitation what you will and will not accept. A boundary is not a wall. It is not about shutting people out. It is a guideline, a rule that protects your self-worth and your dignity. And if you do not enforce those boundaries, no one else will do it for you. The responsibility is yours. When you tell someone, don't speak to me that way, or I'm not okay with that comment, you are not being rude. You are not being difficult. You are establishing the rules of engagement. You are saying, if you want access to me, if you want my time, my presence, my attention, this is the standard. People who respect you will hear those boundaries and adjust. People who don't respect you will push back, get angry, or dismiss you further. And that reaction tells you everything you need to know about where they belong in your life. The hardest part for most people is not setting the boundary, but standing firm when it's challenged. Because it will be challenged. The moment you raise your standard, you will see resistance from those who benefited from you having no boundaries at all. They may accuse you of changing, of being too sensitive, of creating conflict. They may try to guilt you or make you doubt yourself. This is where many people fold and return to silence because it feels easier than enduring the discomfort of holding the line. But here is the reality. If you do not endure that moment of discomfort, you will live with the much greater discomfort of being disrespected again and again. You must choose which discomfort you can live with. Boundaries also extend beyond words. They show up in your actions. If someone consistently interrupts you, you do not have to fight for attention. You can stop giving your energy to conversations where you are not valued. If someone constantly makes jokes at your expense, you do not have to laugh along. You can remove yourself from that interaction altogether. Boundaries are communicated both verbally and non-verbally. Sometimes the most powerful boundary is not a statement, but a refusal to participate in behavior that belittles you. There will always be people who test your boundaries, not because they are cruel, but because human beings push to see how far they can go. The world does not automatically give you respect. You must teach people how to interact with you. Every time you enforce a boundary, you are reinforcing your own value. Every time you let something slide, you are lowering the standard. This is why consistency is critical. A boundary set once and ignored the next time is no boundary at all. People learn very quickly whether you mean what you say, and they will only take your rules as seriously as you do. The fear many people have is that setting boundaries will drive others away. And that may be true. Some relationships may fade. Some people may distance themselves when they realize they can no longer take advantage of you. But what you gain in return is immeasurable peace of mind, clarity, and the confidence of knowing that the people who remain in your life are there because they respect you. Respectful people are not driven away by boundaries. They are drawn closer because they see strength in someone who knows their worth. Boundaries are not about control. They are about self-respect. You are not controlling other people. You are controlling yourself and the standards you live by. You are saying, I cannot make you respect me, but I can decide how much of my time, energy, and presence you get if you don't. This is where real power lies, not in changing others, but in being unshakable in what you expect and accept. When someone disrespects you, one of the strongest instincts you may feel is the urge to react. Your heart starts racing, your voice rises, and suddenly the person who disrespected you has exactly what they wanted, your emotions. The truth is, disrespect often thrives on reaction. People who belittle you, challenge you unfairly, or dismiss you are often looking for one thing: to provoke. If they can make you lose control, they've gained power. They can point at your outburst, your anger, your frustration, and say, see, you're the problem. That is why controlling your emotions in these moments is not just about looking composed. It is about refusing to hand over control of yourself to someone who does not deserve it. Emotional control does not mean you feel nothing. It does not mean you pretend that disrespect doesn't sting. It means you acknowledge the emotion, but you don't let it dictate your response. The difference between someone who is ruled by emotion and someone who masters it is the difference between being predictable and being powerful. If you are quick to anger, people can manipulate you. If you are quick to defend yourself, people can bait you. But when you respond with calmness, you become untouchable because there is no button they can press to control you. Imagine a situation where someone insults you in front of others. Most people expect you to snap back, to defend your pride with volume and sharp words. But when you look at them steady and unshaken and respond with calm authority, you take the air out of their attack. They expected fire and you gave them stone. The silence between their disrespect and your measured response is powerful because it forces them to face their own behavior without the distraction of your anger. This kind of discipline is not easy. It requires training yourself to pause before reacting. The pause is where your power lies. In that pause, you remind yourself that your emotions are yours alone and no one earns the right to control them unless you give them permission. In that pause, you decide whether their words even deserve a response or whether silence itself is the response. In that pause, you shift from reacting to leading because leadership in difficult moments comes from composure. Controlling your emotions also means you stop needing to explain yourself to people who refuse to respect you. The more defensive you become, the weaker you appear. If someone mocks you and you immediately launch into justifications, you're not protecting your dignity. You're handing it over. Strength is often in brevity. That's not acceptable. We're not doing that, or even nothing at all, because not every insult requires an answer. The point is to keep your response intentional rather than emotional. It's important to remember that disrespectful people often project their own insecurity. Their goal is to pull you down to their level. When you lose your composure, you step into their arena and suddenly the conversation is no longer about their behavior, but about your reaction. They can shift the spotlight onto you, saying you're too emotional, too sensitive, too unstable. This is how they avoid accountability. When you remain calm, however, the spotlight stays exactly where it belongs on their behavior. Mastering emotional control also has another effect. It changes how people perceive you. The person who can remain composed under pressure is the one others trust. When you keep your voice steady, your body language grounded, your eyes focused, you communicate strength without ever raising your tone. You become someone others cannot shake easily, and that in itself commands respect. Respect is rarely given to the loudest person in the room. It is given to the person who does not flinch when provoked. Training yourself to stay calm is like building a muscle. It starts with self-awareness. Notice the moments when disrespect triggers you. Is it being interrupted? Is it being mocked? Is it when someone questions your ability? Once you know your triggers, you can prepare for them. Instead of reacting instinctively, you create a mental strategy. Maybe it's counting to 3 before responding. Maybe it's taking a deep breath. Maybe it's redirecting the conversation instead of engaging in the insult. Whatever method you choose, the key is to buy yourself a moment where you can choose the response that serves you best. There is also a deeper truth about emotional control. It is not only for handling others, it is for protecting yourself. Anger, frustration, and defensiveness drain energy. They cloud your judgment. They leave you exhausted. When you give in to them, you carry the weight of the disrespect long after the moment has passed. But when you remain calm, you walk away with your peace intact. You did not allow them to steal your balance, your energy, your clarity. Emotional control is a shield that keeps your inner world from being disrupted by outside chaos. It is worth noting that calmness is not weakness. Many confuse composure with passivity, as if staying calm means you are not standing up for yourself. The opposite is true. Composure is the highest form of strength because it shows mastery over the hardest person to control. You, anyone, can shout. Anyone can throw insults back. Few can stand firm, unbothered, and deliberate in the face of disrespect. That kind of presence commands a deeper respect than any argument ever could. Walking away is one of the most underestimated forms of strength. People are conditioned to believe that proving themselves in every battle is what makes them strong. But in reality, the ability to disengage from a situation that doesn't serve your dignity shows a level of control that few possess. When someone disrespects you, the temptation is to argue, to explain, to demand acknowledgement. It feels natural to want to fight back and show them that you will not be dismissed. But here's the truth: not every fight deserves your energy, and not every person deserves your presence. When you walk away, you are making a clear statement that their disrespect has no power over you because your value is not up for debate. Disrespect thrives when it captures your attention. If you stay, argue, or plead, you're giving it life. You are showing that their words or actions are enough to hold you in that space, draining your time and your peace. But when you turn your back, you cut off the oxygen supply. You show that their attempt to provoke or belittle you is beneath your focus. And focus is a form of currency. Wherever you place it, you invest. Walking away is choosing to invest in yourself rather than in someone who refuses to honor you. This act requires courage because human nature wants to defend. We want to correct lies, prove worth, and make others see us in the right light. But here's the harsh reality. People who consistently disrespect you are not interested in seeing you clearly. They are invested in their own power, their own ego, their own need to diminish you. No amount of arguing will shift their perspective because the goal was never truth. It was control. The moment you realize that, walking away becomes easier because you understand that staying is a trap designed to keep you entangled in a cycle you cannot win. Walking away is not about giving up. It is about protecting your energy. Think of your attention, your time, and your presence as resources that you cannot afford to waste. If someone continuously proves they cannot treat you with respect, they are not just hurting your feelings, they are consuming your resources. Every word spent defending yourself is energy you could have used to build something meaningful. Every moment spent in their presence is time you could have given to people who actually value you. Walking away is simply reallocating those resources toward people and places where they will grow instead of wither. The act of walking away also communicates a powerful message without you needing to say a single word. It tells the other person, I do not need this interaction. I do not need your validation. I do not need your acknowledgement. It strips them of the satisfaction of seeing you flustered, defensive, or desperate. Many people try to gain control by pulling you into endless debates, circular arguments, or toxic confrontations. They thrive on reaction because it confirms that they can influence you. Walking away takes that influence away. You show them that your self-respect is stronger than their attempt to control the narrative. There's also an important truth about walking away. It helps you preserve perspective. When you stay too long in toxic exchanges, your emotions rise, your judgment clouds, And you may end up saying or doing things that do not align with your true character. By removing yourself, you create space to think clearly, to decide if the situation even deserves further attention or if it's best left behind. That space often reveals something powerful. Most disrespect doesn't need a response at all. It does not change who you are. It does not reduce your value. And it only lingers if you keep replaying it. By walking away, you free yourself from replaying the scene over and over because you've already chosen to close that door. This choice does not come without challenges. Walking away may be seen by others as weakness, as if you could not handle the situation, but those who misunderstand are not the ones living your life. They don't carry the cost of your energy being drained. They don't feel the weight of your peace being disturbed. They don't pay the price of staying in battles that serve no purpose. True strength is not measured by how loud you can shout or how long you can argue. It is measured by how little of your soul you are willing to sacrifice for things that do not deserve you. There will always be people who test whether you will stay and fight for their attention, even when they treat you poorly. They do this because as long as you stay, they have power. But the moment you walk away, the game ends. You take back control because you are no longer playing by their rules. And once you walk away, something shifts. You realize that you never needed them to change their behavior for you to stand tall. All you needed was the strength to decide you are worth more than disrespect, and your actions confirm it.